From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Halfway through your work week, thank you so much for joining us. It's Wednesday, November 12th.
Let's open up the windows and get this day started. North Bay neighbors getting ready as drenching rain and powerful winds are on the way. We're tracking the atmospheric river heading to the Bay Area and timing out when it's going to hit the hardest.
Are we next? What's the next business that's going to be hit?
Thousands of dollars in damage after burglars strike along a block of Walnut Creek businesses. Nearby shops worried they could be a target.
It affects me, it affects my family.
With the government shutdown ending as soon as today, the hold on food benefits is still hitting Bay Area businesses hard. The corner market, where food stamp customers play a big role in their bottom line and are now struggling as a result.
I love giving back to the community. It really makes me feel good.
And at a time when many of our neighbors are stretched thin, we're taking you to the burger joint in San Jose that gave away free meals, no questions asked. Well, starting in the North Bay, we've already seen neighbors preparing for some heavy rain expected tonight through tomorrow morning. People were out filling sandbags in Sonoma. They're encouraging people to prepare ahead for tonight and the rainy season as a whole, really. Here's Jess with a look at what to expect from this incoming storm.
Some big changes right around the corner. Starting tonight at 10 p.m., a wind advisory in effect issued by the National Weather Service. But before we even get there, today's the day to prepare. Today's the day to get out there, make sure all those Halloween decorations are tucked away in the garage, ready to go as this wind event comes in the overnight hours tonight. Now, daytime highs today are a little bit cooler compared to where we were at just yesterday. We're holding on tight to 60s along the coast, 70s in our inland spots. Today is the dry day before we start to see those showers trickle in as we head into the evening hours tonight, early morning hours tomorrow. So it's going to be a first alert weather day starting at 5 o'clock tonight. We're going to continue to keep a close eye on those winds, and we're already monitoring it closely. You see that tan and yellow color below me. This is the National Weather Service issuing high wind warnings for our friends along the coast. Wind advisories widespread throughout our inland areas. I'll have more on this coming up in just a bit. We're going to time out that storm for you before you head out the door. Reed?
All right, thanks. We need that, Jess. We're looking live at the U.S. Capitol, where today House lawmakers are expected to vote on a bill that will end the longest U.S. government shutdown in history. The House has not been in session for nearly 2 months. So if a funding bill passes the House today, President Trump says it'll quickly hit his desk and he'll immediately sign it. Well, overnight, Democrats pushed to add extensions for those Obamacare tax credits that expire this year. Republicans blocked every amendment in a 7-hour back-and-forth meeting to advance the bill to the full House. President Trump already claiming an early victory.
Opening up our country should have never been closed.
The bill funds the government through January 30th, gives government workers laid off during the shutdown their jobs back, and guarantees back pay for federal workers. Federal food programs called SNAP also got funding for the year. So we're watching lawmakers convene for a vote on the House floor anytime this morning. When we see it, you'll see it. We'll have those breaking news updates. Also, maybe if you're not in front of your television set, you can head to work or school knowing that you got those updates right in the palm of your hand, kpix.com, or use the free CBS News app.
Now, despite what happens there, people on SNAP or food stamps will have to wait longer to get their full benefits. The Supreme Court has extended an order pausing the payments. That is going to expire just before midnight on Thursday. So even if the House votes to reopen the government today, it's still not clear when those SNAP payments would go out. And that uncertainty around benefits is putting a real strain on local food banks.
Yeah, as Katie Nielsen found out, those small businesses are also taking a hit.
Right. All right, y'all. Love y'all. All right.
How are you?
I'm fine with you.
How have you been?
Lucky knows just about everyone in this neighborhood in North Richmond. His store, Rancho Market, has been a fixture here, a small grocery store in Delhi, in an area that's otherwise a food desert, a neighborhood without many other grocery stores nearby.
I know everybody here. 20 years, I watched them growing up.
That's why it was so hard when he wasn't seeing the families and seniors who came in using their CalFresh benefits.
I was really worried about them. And the first 3 days, it was really troubles, like, how they gonna survive.
He says he tried to help where he could.
I do give away what I can, but I can't give much. You can't help so many people,
25 to 30% of his sales are on CalFresh cards. And without the benefits continuing, he couldn't afford to stay in business just through the end of the month.
They don't have too many stores. A lot of them are faded out. They've been faded out. So yeah, this is central to this area here. Yeah, it's very important to keep the store here.
Katrina Ledbetter grew up here and says a lot of the people who live in the area are limited on transportation, often walking to the store to get what they need.
We have just seen a lot of chaos and anxiety as people struggle to figure out whether they're going to be able to put food on the table.
Caitlin Shai with the Food Bank of Contra Costa and Solano says at one of their distribution events on Sunday, 100 extra families showed up compared to previous events.
We will usually see 10, 20 new people depending on the site, but that many new folks coming to us really tells us that without benefits, they were not able to afford groceries.
A situation that will take a while for the recipients and small market owners like Lucky to recover from.
It's a big chain reaction, but sometimes people think it's so little, but that little thing has so much chain reaction. It affects me, it affects my family.
In the South Bay, nonprofit leaders and government officials are racing to get food to families. Sunnyvale Community Services expecting more long lines for today's food giveaway. That is from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the site on Kern Avenue. Organizers say they've had to expand weekly food distribution programs, trying to keep up with that unprecedented need in the community. And we invite you to help your neighbors in need through our annual Food for Bay Area Families program, more important now than ever. For more info on how you can donate to local food banks or become a volunteer, you can scan the QR code on your screen. You can also head to our website, kpix.com/give. An investigation underway in a Redwood City neighborhood after a tense standoff turned deadly. Police say a man pointed a gun at them and they responded. It all started with a 911 call about somebody firing a gun, and officers found that suspect hiding out on Hemlock Avenue, not far from a daycare, and things escalated quickly. Police tracked the man using a drone after he ran from Hazel Avenue. They say Jose Ronaldo Lombera pulled a gun on them, and that is when officers opened fire. He later died at the hospital. Witnesses say that they heard multiple gunshots and watched as officers swarmed the block.
I was driving on El Camino and I see my whole block was full of cops.
Shocking, you see a guy with a red hoodie running around with a gun.
Well, the San Mateo County District Attorney's Office is now investigating. Police say no officers nor bystanders were hurt.
Well, after protests outside Monday's Turning Point USA event at UC Berkeley turned into fights and arrests, the feds are now investigating. So Attorney General Pam Bondi wrote in a post on X, "Violent riots Monday evening are under investigation by the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force." Bondi referenced Antifa in her X post, saying Antifa is an existential threat to our nation. Just weeks into the start of his term, President Trump's administration designated Antifa as a domestic terror organization. Demonstrators and police clashed Monday night ahead of that event by the conservative conference founded and run by the late activist Charlie Kirk, assassinated in Utah months ago. Well, police confirmed 3 arrests there at UC Berkeley, mostly for fighting or failing to disobey orders. We spoke with student Dara, who witnessed it.
I know that there was a clash. I mean, I'm not really sure how the university is culpable for that. At the end of the day, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's UC. I think UC Berkeley did everything it could to protect both sides.
So the university also adds they're fully cooperating with the investigation, condemning all violence and promising accountability for anybody who violates the law.
Moving around the Bay for some of the headlines in your community. Let's start on the peninsula, because in just a few hours, we could know who will become the next sheriff of San Mateo County. The Board of Supervisors meeting at 9 this morning to make their pick from a pool of these 3 candidates. They include San Francisco Police veteran David Lazar, Gilroy Interim Police Chief Kenneth Binder, and Solano Community College Police Chief Brian Travis. One of them is going to replace former Sheriff Christina Corpus, who was removed after allegations of misconduct and abuse of power. She has repeatedly denied those allegations. Heading north to San Francisco and the search for that city's new police chief. The police commission is under a deadline, a self-imposed deadline, to present a list of 3 finalists to the mayor by today. The 7-member panel has been vetting a pool of 34 applicants. We don't know their names, though. They've been closely guarded. The city is hoping to name its new chief by the end of the year. In Contra Costa County, at least 5 businesses on the same block in downtown Walnut Creek were hit by smash and grab burglaries last week. Police have not made any arrests in those cases. Surveillance video shows at least 4 people breaking into shops along Bonanza Street last Wednesday morning. One restaurant manager says the trend has a lot of businesses around there on edge.
Are we next? What's the next business that's going to be hit? I mean, they started off down Bonanza Street, worked their way around Locust, and they just handpicked different businesses.
Well, we reached out to Walnut Creek Police for the latest on these investigations, have not gotten an update from them. Store owners we spoke with say the burglars didn't actually steal much, but they say cleaning up the damage is expected to cost thousands of dollars.
Time right now, 6:10 in the morning. Good morning, everybody. Nice to have you with us as we watch for the government to potentially reopen today. The head of the FAA warns travel will not go back to normal right away. The delays along Bay Area airports continue to pile up.
And more funding trouble for schools in the Bay Area. Why Santa Rosa City schools at risk right now of a state takeover.
And we're continuing to keep a close eye on the storms right around the corner. Heavy winds and some rain, and on top of that, cooler weather on tap for us as we head into this week's forecast. More on that coming up in just a bit.
First Alert Weather, brought to you by AAA Insurance. Get a quote today.
Major breaking news this morning connected to the Jeffrey Epstein case. Here it is. A House panel has released new emails showing convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein mentioned Donald Trump multiple times over 15 years, calling Mr. Trump, quote, the dog that hasn't barked. The emails include claims that Mr. Trump spent significant time with a woman whom Democrats say Epstein victimized. In emails to Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate and accomplice, now serving a 20-year prison sentence for sex trafficking, Epstein suggested Trump, quote, knew about the girls, alleging the former president was aware of Epstein's activities. We're also watching live video from our monitors, bringing us headlines from across the globe. These monitors here glowing and bringing us the news of the day. Well, the U.S. government shutdown could end very soon. And even though that could happen, the timeline for air travel returning to normal is less certain. So by Friday, this we know, the Federal Aviation Administration will implement cancellations of 10% of flights at key airports, including Oakland and San Francisco International, due to air traffic controller shortages. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warns air travel will not return to normal right away. So keeping you current, 45 cancellations at SFO already this morning, 11 at Oakland International. We just want to let you know as you go throughout your morning, we will watch and we'll update those numbers as soon as we get them. Expect some delays no matter where you go today. Well, despite the Trump administration planning to open 6 new offshore oil lease sites along California's coastline, Governor Gavin Newsom says the plan will be DOA, dead on arrival. Newsom echoing statewide opposition rooted in decades of environmental damage from past oil spills. Well, look at this dramatic video here behind me, capturing a pedestrian bridge in the Philippines swaying wildly in typhoon-force winds. In fact, as that typhoon made landfall, wind gusts hit more than 140 miles an hour, killing at least 4 and forcing more than 1 million people to evacuate. That same system drenched southern Taiwan.
All right, taking a live look outside this Wednesday morning. Much calmer here around the Bay Area. This is a shot from our camera on top of the Mark Hopkins Hotel on Nob Hill. And here is Jess with a look at our weather. Okay, so we've still got some time to prepare for the storm if need be.
We do have time to prepare. I mean, this morning the winds are still light and it's still dry out there. But hey, if you have any Halloween decorations out there, today's the day to bring it into the garage, especially before the winds start getting gusty into the evening hours tonight. We're going to talk about the winds in just a second. But before we get there, it feels a little bit cooler out there for us today. Low 70s and upper 60s widespread throughout our inland areas from San Jose into Los Gatos. Similar trend all the way up into the North Bay. We're feeling this cold front already as we head outside, but we're going to notice it even more into the evening hours tonight and early morning hours tomorrow because as you take a look at these rainfall totals, we have heavy storms pushing in from offshore, and you have the timeline just below me. It starts into the afternoon hours today, into the overnight hours tonight. Some of those heavier thunderstorms are forecasted for us widespread throughout the bay. In total, you take a look at some of these North Bay numbers, we can expect anywhere up to around a half an inch just for our Thursday forecast alone as the storm tracks through. A similar number all the way off into the East Bay in places like Livermore, all the way down into Fremont and into the Santa Clara Valley. We're getting close to around an inch in places like Los Gatos, right around the corner. So that's story number one. Story number two has to do with the wind, because what you see below me in that dark yellow color just along the coast is a high wind warning issued by the National Weather Service. That starts at 10 o'clock tonight. It remains in effect into the overnight hours tonight until 10 a.m. tomorrow. And then for the tan color throughout the rest of the Bay Area, it's a wind advisory, which means we could see gusts anywhere up to around 50 miles per hour, but we could see gusts along the coast anywhere up to around 60 miles per hour. So that's what we're keeping a close eye on when it comes to the storm. And timing it out just a bit more, of course, we're going to monitor this as we head into the overnight hours tonight. That first band pushes through just into the afternoon hours today. We'll see lingering showers on the back end, too, as we head into Thursday and Friday. So we're not clearing up just yet. And as we head into this weekend, some unsettled weather still sticks around, meaning we could see more showers as we head into our Sunday forecast with cool, low temperatures sitting in the low 60s as we head into this weekend. So lots of changes as we head into the next 24 hours. We're gearing up for some significantly cooler weather as we head into the afternoon hours today and tomorrow. Along the coast, we're going to hold on tight to 60s and 50s each day. In our inland spots, it's looking very similar. 60s diving into this weekend with unsettled weather, rain, wind, and a chance of thunderstorms lasting into early next week, too, by Monday. Back to you.
All right, let's take a look at our traffic this Wednesday morning. Starting up in the San Lorenzo area. Stalled vehicle and debris on the road near 238 southbound. That is just before the Washington Avenue exit. There's also an accident there on the entry ramp to 580 westbound at the 238 westbound exit. Over at the Altamont Pass, we are seeing some red in that area as well, our usual suspects, so do expect a bit of a slowdown there. Let's take a look at our bridges. The San Mateo Bridge seeing a few brake lights, but nothing out of the ordinary. And over at the Bay Bridge, bumper to bumper, but no major delays right now. San Francisco saying goodbye to a Muni staple after nearly 30 years in service. The iconic Breda light rail trains are rolling for the last time today. They've carried millions of people across the city since 1996. From Ocean Beach to Dogpatch, riders can catch the final trip on the J Church line and toast their farewell at a nearby happy hour. New trains from the company Siemens are now going to be taking their place. Well, Mother Nature put on a light show for the Bay Area, if you were lucky enough to see it. Check it out. This is a look at the northern lights from our camera at Black Mountain and Diablo. We caught these views just before 9 last night. Spectacular.
Yeah.
And we always encourage you to send in your photos so we can show them off on air.
Yeah, beautiful. Check out the view from San Jose. This is courtesy of one of our viewers. We appreciate it so much. They sent in these photos also around 9 p.m. last night, closer to the eastern side of the city. Federal forecasters say a powerful geomagnetic storm created the spectacular display of the Aurora Borealis, or as my twins used to say when they were little, Aurora Borealis. It's all shortened. It's the Northern Lights. We're not the only ones to see them. Those band of lights, stunning, seen in many other states, including where my family is in Utah. They said, wow, look at this.
Did they send you pics?
Oh, I got pics, yes.
I got pics from my friend in Fort Collins, Colorado. Gorgeous.
So cool.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, not far away from where my family is, actually.
621, staying confident no matter who is under center. The mantra behind the 49ers as they prep for another divisional matchup. That is coming up in our Red and Gold report.
Well, the 49ers don't know who will be playing quarterback on Sunday in Arizona, but as Vern Glenn tells you in the Red and Gold report, the team says they're confident in both of their quarterbacks.
This is the Audi Red and Gold report.
49ers quarterback Brock Purdy has a chance to return Sunday against the Cardinals. Head coach Kyle Shanahan said he'd like to see him fully participate in all 3 practices this week. If Purdy is still not ready to return from his toe injury, the Niners have full confidence in Mac Jones. Against the Rams on Sunday, Jones was 33 of 39, threw for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's 5-3 as San Francisco's starter and has exceeded expectations with his teammates.
Did you expect Mac Jones to be this good?
No, I did not. Nope, I did not. Nope. It's awesome. what a hell of a football player. I get why he was a first-round draft pick.
He's a baller, man. Yeah, he's a baller. Somebody that has proven it day in and day out. So that's one of the beauties of this team, man. We do have depth, you know. Brock's an unbelievable player, and when he goes down, to have somebody like that come up is huge for us.
With the Red and Gold Report, I'm Vern Glenn.
Meanwhile, the San Jose Sharks are on a 4-game winning streak. They came from behind and won in overtime against the Minnesota Wild. Macklin Celebrini was the player that stepped up big, setting up Colin Graff to score the winning goal. Final score 2-1. Sharks play next in Calgary tomorrow.
Time right now, 6:26. Good morning, everybody. It is get ready before go time in the North Bay. We're tracking what's expected to be a red alert weather day, bringing strong winds and rain to the Bay.
And here's another live look outside before we head to break from our camera on the Mark Hopkins Hotel, looking east this Wednesday. We'll be right back.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
All right, we are looking north. You see the Golden Gate Bridge there, middle left of your screen, and that's for good reason. All of you up in the North Bay, you are bracing for what Jess is about to tell you about. Good morning, Jess.
Oh, good morning, Reed, and good morning, everyone waking up with us. I want to start off by saying it's the calm before the storm right now. Before you head out the door, if you have any leftover Halloween decorations that you don't want blowing into your neighbor's yard, maybe this morning's the day to do it. The reason why I say that is because later into this afternoon and into the evening hours tonight, an atmospheric river is approaching us, and it's going to bring in gusty winds, rain widespread throughout the Bay Area, and on top of that, some cooler weather as we wrap up this week, heading into this weekend. So I'm starting off with that time lapse just throughout the next 24 hours to paint the picture. The storm comes in from offshore. It's going to bring us up to around a half an inch of rain in places like the Santa Clara Valley, about an inch of rain all the way down into Los Gatos. You head all the way up into the North Bay. This is what we're in store for as we head into the next 24 hours. About a half an inch in places like Napa, Santa Rosa, all the way over into Vallejo too. And the reason why I want to bring this up as we wake up this morning is just to get you prepared before you even head out the door. Into the evening hours tonight, just around 10 o'clock, a high wind warning is going to be in effect issued by the National Weather Service along our coastline. We can see gusts up to around 60 miles per hour, and daytime highs are going to get a lot cooler right around the corner once this cold front pushes through. It is an atmospheric river. It packs a punch when it comes to these rainfall totals. I'll have more on that coming up in a bit. Reed.
All right, thanks, Jess. Well, in the North Bay, it is neighbor helping neighbor, getting ready for the next storm system, and here's proof. In Sonoma, we spotted people out filling sandbags at Depot Park. We're going to continue watching all of those storm preps. We know a lot of you, especially up in the North Bay, have trash day as well, so maybe get those trash cans pulled in a little bit early. We'll have updated forecasts throughout today, timing that storm, how much of an impact it could have right down to your neighborhood level. You can also get updates like that anytime on kpix.com and in the palm of your hand, streaming on the free CBS News app. Ann?
New optimism today that the federal government shutdown might end soon. Today, the House is expected to vote on a Senate-passed bill that would reopen the government. That deal would fund most federal agencies through the end of January, reverse recent shutdown-related layoffs, and guarantee retroactive pay for furloughed workers. It also includes full-year funding for SNAP food benefits and other programs, but the bill does not extend Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies, health care subsidies, and that was something that Democrats really wanted. Instead, it does promise a future Senate vote on that issue with no commitment from the House. The shutdown has already caused widespread disruption. As you know, we've been reporting for weeks. Millions of Americans have experienced uncertainty with furloughed federal workers missing paychecks, national parks closed, and air travel delays, cancellations, as short-staffed air traffic control towers struggle to keep up. Delayed food benefits have also led to long lines at food banks across the country and here in the Bay Area.
Well, news affecting millions of people who receive those federal food benefits. Justices on the U.S. Supreme Court extended an order pausing food assistance payments until just before midnight Thursday. That means a delay for those of you who depend on the benefits, even if Congress votes to end the government shutdown today. So your community station seeing communities stepping up to meet the needs. Tonight, Winston's restaurant in Napa providing dinner for anyone impacted by the funding delays. To get a meal, just bring your EBT card to receive that free dine-in or even a takeout meal. And we are proud to help local food banks with food for Bay Area families. Just get out your cell phone right now, open up the camera app, scan the QR code on your screen, and then just follow the links to find out how you can donate to local food banks or even become a volunteer. You can also go to our website, kpix.com/give. Now moving around the Bay Area for headlines where you live. In the North Bay, Santa Rosa City Schools on the brink of a state takeover if district leaders cannot cut $2.8 million from the budget to avoid running out of cash next year. So those deficits in total are reported $20 million. Last spring, the district closed 6 schools and laid off about 150 staff to save $7 million. But still, reportedly, it's not enough. To blame, declining enrollment, expiring COVID relief funds, and rising costs that have pushed the largest school system in Sonoma County completely to the edge. Well, tonight, the board will review fresh budget reports and consider new cuts to prevent the first ever state takeover in local history. We're watching that one closely. A similar problem in Monterey County, where the Pajaro Valley Unified School Board eyes deep staffing cuts there to fix their growing budget deficits. In that area, more than 160 positions could be out, including teachers, counselors, and all mental health clinicians. There, the shortfall is a reported $15 million. Staff and unions say those roles are vital, especially for students who are vulnerable. The board plans a final vote on this next month. Heading to the East Bay now, a driver is facing murder charges after a deadly road rage incident in Castro Valley. Investigators say 37-year-old Martin Davis Jr. rear-ended 49-year-old Jason Elola's car late Saturday night. Elola, his wife, and their 2 young children were inside the vehicle during the crash and the fight. CHP reports Elola got out to confront Davis Jr., leading to a fight between the 2 men. Elola, critically injured, later died from those injuries at a local hospital. Officers say Davis Jr. called CHP to report his involvement and then returned to the scene where officers took him into custody. Both the CHP and Alameda County Sheriff's Office are still investigating and are asking anyone out there who may have been at the scene at the time for dash cam or cell phone video. They say they need you to come forward.
New this morning, if you park your car at BART, get ready to pay more. The transit agency just announced new parking rate hikes that are going to start in January. BART will raise parking fees by up to 30% at some high-demand stations like Glen Park, Rockridge, and Walnut Creek, with some spots going up more than $1 a day. Most other stations will see a 40-cent increase. Reserved parking rates will also shift, increasing at busy stations and dropping where demand is lower. Those new prices kick in on the 1st of January, which is going to be here before we know it. As a lot of people struggle to rent out their office spaces in cities like San Francisco, we take a look at one part of the city that is packed. In the Presidio, just 1.4% of the office space is vacant. That is according to recent reports from real estate company Cushman & Wakefield. Our Max Darrow spoke with a local company and leasing manager about what makes the Presidio so appealing.
Take a walk with Nitesh Goel through the Padlet office in San Francisco.
Here we have actually the best views of the Golden Gate.
And it's easy to see why this CEO wanted to make the Presidio his company's home.
We are a creative product, and we felt that our space needs to be something that inspires creativity.
Goel's company creates collaboration software for schools around the world. And right now, it's on the smaller side.
So about 30 to 35 people here, but worldwide we have about 65 to 70 people.
However, size-wise, Padlet is right in the sweet spot for a Presidio office. And the Presidio's office landscape itself is having a moment. According to a Q3 Cushman Wakefield report, there is just under 1.1 million square feet of office space in the Presidio. Only 15,894 square feet are vacant. So the Q3 office vacancy rate here was 1.4%. As for San Francisco's Q3 office vacancy rate, that stood at 33.6%.
We're looked at by more companies as a first choice way more often than we used to be, which is fantastic.
Mark Zufo is the commercial leasing manager for the Presidio Trust.
We've got a much more square footage that we're leasing out to, so there's more people here. There's different industries that have decided that this is where they want to be.
The low vacancy rate translates to success for businesses within the Presidio.
I mean, it's one of the most beautiful places you can be in San Francisco.
Just ask Laura Oselmas, the executive chef at Delita, which opened about 2.5 years ago.
And sometimes we feed up to 500 people a day.
Like Goel, she finds creativity from the surrounding landscape. The dish she's prepping here includes nasturtium flowers grown within the Presidio.
We feel so proud to use such a beautiful product from the Presidio.
Zufo says in a way the Presidio does sell itself. A national park site within the city with a campus-like feel and smaller office footprints. But there also is a collective effort to preserve it and propel it forward.
The rents pay for the Presidio. I mean, that's what every dollar that we generate goes back into the Presidio to renovate more buildings and keep it as beautiful as it is now.
It's always beautiful, right? The tunnel tops is great. It's probably like one of the most beautiful places in America right now.
Goel has already moved his company once within the Presidio.
What I hear is that the #1 reason people move out of Presidio is that they grow and there is no other building that can house them.
He's hopeful Padlet can continue growing without having to look for a new home outside the Presidio.
It is just about 20 minutes before 7 o'clock. And some vacationers left scrambling after a San Francisco-based rental company suddenly shuts down. We'll tell you why.
All right, live look outside right now. There we see the city and one of our beautiful bridges getting people into work. Thank you so much for watching your community station. We'll be back. Of course, we're talking about what will be a red alert weather day tomorrow, especially for those of you up in the North Bay. Jess will have your forecast on that when we come back. We've got some major breaking news this morning connected to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. A House panel has released new emails showing convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein mentions Donald Trump multiple times over 15 years. He calls Mr. Trump, quote, the dog that hasn't barked. The emails include claims that Mr. Trump spent significant time with a woman whom Democrats say Epstein victimized. In emails to Ghislaine Maxwell, who is, by the way, Epstein's longtime associate and accomplice and now serving a 20-year prison sentence for sex trafficking, Epstein suggested Trump knew about the girls, alleging the former president was aware of Epstein's activities.
Watching live video from our many monitors, bringing us some of the headlines from across the globe this morning. The House Rules Committee voted along party lines to advance the Senate-passed bill that would reopen the government. In that same session, an amendment to extend health care subsidies, a key Democratic priority, was rejected. 8 Senate Democrats and 1 independent joined Republicans to back the deal. As part of the agreement, a separate vote on health care subsidies has been promised for next month, though we don't know how that vote would end up turning out. A Turkish military cargo plane crashed in the country of Georgia after taking off from Azerbaijan. The C-130 had 20 people on board, including Turkish and Azeri personnel. Turkey's president offered his condolences, calling the people who died martyrs. No official word yet on what caused the crash nor how many people exactly were killed. And travelers are scrambling after the San Francisco-based rental company Sonder filed for bankruptcy. Some guests say they got texts or emails giving them less than 24 hours to pack up and leave. The Marriott-backed company runs apartment-style stays in 40 cities across 10 countries, and now many are left to try to make new vacation arrangements. Time now for a look at what is coming up later on CBS Mornings. Nate Burleson joining us live now from New York. Good morning.
Good morning, and it's so good to see you. Here's what's coming up on CBS Mornings. Chances are that you have gotten one of those annoying scam text messages, right? Well, we have exclusive details on a new federal lawsuit filed by Google that could stop those scammers from trying to steal your information, which leads to them stealing your money. Plus, actors Miles Teller and Davine Joy Randolph will join us about navigating the afterlife in their new romantic comedy. It's called Eternity. I've seen it, and it is amazing. Also, actor Alicia Silverstone, she is here. She'll tell us about her new Christmas movie and also reflect on the 30th anniversary of the classic movie Clueless. And one of our favorite guests, Sarah Gelman of Amazon Books, will exclusively reveal Amazon's best books of the year. And there's some gift ideas in there, too. We'll also have everything you need to know. And, of course, more on the show. So we'll see you at 7.
All right. Action-packed. Thanks, Nate.
Taking a live look outside towards the North Bay, which could see a major impact from an incoming storm. It is get ready day before it's go day. So let's go live to Veronica Macias, where people are getting ready right now. Good morning, Veronica.
Good morning. Yeah, this atmospheric river potentially bringing a string of hazards for people here in the city of Sonoma. At this sand station, you can see they've already refilled things, so people have been coming by. This is a bring your own shovel, bring your own bag, fill those bags up, prep your home, get ready. Here comes the rain. It's going to be a significant amount. So at this station, it's bring your own bag, bring your own shovel. However, if you don't have that, the city says over at City Hall, they are giving out 10 free bags to people so they can get things ready here. And it's not just the city of Sonoma, but all across the Bay Area. Go online, look for your nearest sand station to get ready for this atmospheric river that's coming our way. The city says if you also want to track the rain levels here for the potential hazards, they have set up an emergency page so people can take a look. Right now is the time to get ready. That rain coming in very soon, Reed.
All right, Veronica, thank you so much.
So let's take a quick check of that forecast before you head out the door this morning. Today, well, this morning, I should say, is really the time to prepare because as we head into the evening hours tonight, those winds start to get a lot stronger. We're gearing up for wind speeds along the coast anywhere up to around 60 miles per hour, 50-mile-per-hour winds forecasted in some of our inland areas. That's the reason why the National Weather Service has issued this wind advisory directly below me, anywhere from the East Bay all the way over into the Santa Clara Valley and up into wine country. All that tan color you see below me is a wind advisory. High wind warnings along the coast. That starts at 10 o'clock tonight, lasting until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. And it's all because that storm that's pushing in from offshore. This atmospheric river is going to pack a punch when it comes to rainfall totals, too. We're going to start watching these tracked storms push in from offshore just into the evening hours tonight, early morning hours tomorrow. A good chance of some thunderstorm activity into the early morning hours tomorrow, too. And you take a look at these rainfall totals, impressive numbers, especially down into places like the Santa Clara Valley. About a half an inch of rain expected in places like San Jose, about an inch along the foothills closer to Los Gatos. Now, up in a wine country we go, we can see up to around a half an inch accumulate just into that Thursday forecast alone. And we're not done with the showers just yet. We'll continue to see some unsettled weather diving into this weekend's forecast, but the brunt of that storm pushes into the overnight hours tonight. It will be a first alert weather day starting at 5 o'clock today, and that lasts into our early morning hours tomorrow, too. So there's lots to talk about when it comes to the storm. High winds, rain, and of course some cooler temperatures too. Just real fast, I want to pull up our daytime highs to paint this picture. Today we're still holding on tight to 70s off into the East Bay, down into the Santa Clara Valley. Up in wine country, we're already starting to cool down into the 60s. By tomorrow, you're going to see low 60s widespread throughout all these communities. So take a look at the next 7 days. This is what it's going to look like as we head into this weekend's forecast. Daytime highs drop. Heavy amounts of rain are forecasted for us as we head into the next 24 hours. And to add to that, we're also going to keep a close eye on those winds. Pushing in from offshore, we can see gusts up to around 60 miles per hour into the overnight hours tonight along places like Half Moon Bay, Pacifica, up into Stinson Beach too. In our inland communities, for the most part, it's just going to be breezy, but we can still see some wind gusts get anywhere up to around 50 miles per hour as well. So that's what we're tracking closely. You head over into the coastal communities. That's where I'm going to keep the closest eye on when it comes to some of these major impacts, but we're all under a chance of thunderstorm activity into the early morning hours tomorrow, and we all will see some amount of rain like you saw just a second ago, anywhere up to around a half an inch, up to around an inch forecasted just into the Santa Clara Valley and along the foothills. Back to you.
All right, let's take a check into traffic. If you're heading out the door, we have a crash right now with injuries. 880 northbound just south of the 23rd Avenue exit, the slow lane block there, and further up 880 northbound, another crash. That one's south of High Street. So major delays through that area of Oakland with 2 exits affected. Other side of the freeway, 880 southbound, crash right now just north of 29th Street. So heavy delays in both directions there. In San Francisco, a fire right now on 101 northbound at 80 East. Important interchange there. The right shoulder is affected, so expect delays. And over at the Bay Bridge, those metering lights are on. It is backed up out there, so expect your usual bumper-to-bumper traffic as you head into the city. That is a look at your morning commute. Well, 49ers fans got a nice surprise as they were getting their afternoon coffee yesterday, along with some Pete's baristas. They found some players making drinks at the store in Santa Clara. Wide receivers Ricky Pearsall and Jacob Cowing, to be specific. One diehard fan told us she waited in line for more than 4 hours just to get her drink and see the players.
We waited and waited and waited, of course. Worth the wait, well worth the wait. And got myself a peppermint mocha and a signed cup.
Very cool. Sourdough Sam also making an appearance there. Now, here were the rules. Pearsall and Cowing were not allowed to operate the machines, not properly Starbucks trained, but they were able to top off drinks with whipped cream and call out names when those drinks were ready.
Time right now is 6:51. A San Jose burger shop serving up kindness at a time when it is needed most. And look at the line.
I love giving back to the community. It really makes me feel good.
Meet the bridge builders giving back to the community this yesterday on Veterans Day. Up next.
And let's take another live look outside before we head to break. This view of the Bay Bridge from our Salesforce Tower camp. We'll be right back.
Your community, your news, powered by KPIX. CBS News Bay Area. Watch anywhere, anytime. Stay informed and connected. Trusted local news when you want it. CBS News Bay Area. Watch free on any device.
Welcome back, everybody. Time now for your Money Watch report. We start by taking a live look at the big board this morning. Hey, your stocks are doing pretty good. Your 401k likely to be a healthy one, at least if things hold. The Dow up 400 plus points. We'll continue watching that throughout the morning. There are new signs, though, of a slowdown in the labor market. Private sector hiring went down. This comes from new data from payroll provider ADP that shows the U.S. companies lost an average of more than 11,000 jobs per week in October. The new data is part of a newly launched report from ADP to provide a higher frequency snapshot of U.S. labor market activity. It comes amid an absence of job numbers from the federal government due to that shutdown. President Trump says the U.S. does not have enough talented workers to fill jobs in our country. In fact, he talked about this on a Fox News interview. He said the H-1B visa program helps by allowing employers to hire foreign professionals for specialty roles that require at least a bachelor's degree. The president also defended a new $100,000 application fee for certain H-1B applicants, though that fee mostly affects new hires coming from outside the United States, not all visa seekers. All right, you might need to win the lottery to pay that visa. So here's your headline. We're sorry to bring this news to you. We know you dreamed as you went to sleep of what you would spend the money on, but nobody won the Mega Millions drawing last night. So now the prize, this is the upside of it, it's just shy of $1 billion to take. If somebody wins the Friday drawing and takes the cash option, they walk away with almost $500 million with a B.
We celebrate bridge builders in our community, and with so many people affected by the government shutdown, one local business in San Jose did something unusual.
Yeah, that's right. Campus Burgers gave away free meals to anybody who showed up, no questions asked. Arlen Ramirez shows us the big turnout.
The crowd began to grow long before Campus Burgers opened. Owner Jim Angelopoulos spent days preparing, stocking up on beef, potatoes, and bins of buns, all to give away thousands of meals, no strings attached.
I love giving back to the community. It really makes me feel good, and I hope people can appreciate that there are a lot of people out there that want to give back.
When the open sign flicked on at 11 a.m., the first customers poured in for their free meal. The line wrapped around the block. Families, workers, and veterans all grateful for the warm meal and the warmer gesture. Among the first in line were Wolf and Steve, two veterans who just met.
Wow, this is so cool that they're, not only veterans, but they're doing this, and I think it's so awesome.
Wolf, who was homeless for 8 years and just got into housing, is permanently disabled from a training injury and says this free meal is a welcome break from his ongoing challenges.
It's rough, and then everything with the whole staff right now, it's hard for us.
Steve was a sergeant in the Marine Corps and now works for the Bureau of Land Management in Arizona, but he hasn't seen a paycheck in weeks.
Yeah, with the federal government currently being shut down, there are some days where I've had to go without eating or just keeping it incredibly low cost and, buying one pizza or something to stretch it out for a few meals for a few days.
They're not alone. Thousands came through the door, like Julissa, who brought her 3 children after hearing about the giveaway online.
I'm really grateful because right now, like during the hard times, like with the shutdown and everything, like the SNAP and everything, that was a very big help, how it's going on.
For one day, no one left hungry. Jim says it's a financial loss he's willing to take for the greater good.
We're just trying to do a little bit to help, that's all. Just one day, and if we have to give out up to 10,000 cheeseburgers, actually, we'll do it.
And as the lunch rush wore on, more people heard about it online, and the crowds kept coming, and so did the gratitude. And for many, like Wolf, walking off after lunch to catch the bus back home, it was a welcome feeling of fullness.
Awesome, seeing people step up to do something when a need is there. Coming up, it's Wired Wednesday, and the Bay Area's Google launching a lawsuit to target text message scammers. We'll be chatting about this and more with our friend Abrar Al-Hiti from CNET.
And artificial intelligence fueling the rise of fake online car sales. Take a look at how the state is trying to protect consumers.
Live look outside as we look to getting ready for what is going to be an atmospheric river hitting parts of the bay tomorrow morning. We have what you need to know to get ready for the storm, plus breaking and developing news relative to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Much more ahead when you change the channel over to Pix Plus 44, cable channel 12.